Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. This is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news, as well as a preview of the upcoming game matchups. Now, this week, I kind of wanted to focus on a phrase that's been coming up in hip-hop as of late called for the culture. So, with for the culture, in terms of hip-hop, it's usually something that's like, for hip-hop fans, something that the fans are going to get excited about. So, it might be two artists on a collab project. It might be an artist performing, a certain album or something at a concert setting. Just stuff like that. Stuff that fans will get excited about. So with that being said, this week, as it applies to the Texans, this game is going to be for the culture. Yeah, this game against the Jacksonville Jaguars is going to be a game that's for the Texans culture, for the Texans fan base. Given that all we've been through as well, not so much the fans, but well, actually, yeah, so much the fans, fans and the players. What I mean to say, but given everything that's been going on both sides, I mean, with the fans, of course, there's hurricanes, Hurricane Harvey in Houston, and just across the Texas Panhandle. And on the player side, them dealing with the hurricanes as well as just dealing with all the injuries and losses for this season. This game is going to be the last meaningful game that we have. Next week, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're probably going to have their playoff aspirations wrapped up for the season. And we finish off the year with the Indianapolis Colts, and neither team is going anywhere in that. It's probably just going to be battling for a draft spot and seeing who's going to be like, you're just seeing what second or third stringers are left. But this Sunday against the Jaguars is a game for the Texans culture. First off, the first Jaguars game, it kind of broke out a lot of the storylines that we've been talking about like this whole season. In particular, the offensive line. That was the game that, Calais Campbell just came out there and just tore our whole offensive line up, along with the rest of the Jacksonville defense. Savage, he started that game, but he did not finish it because that was also the same game that we saw the debut of rookie Deshaun Watson. And so, unfortunately, we lost Watson to injury this season. And so we also we lost Savage to injury last week. Well, for the time being, we only just lost him for this upcoming game. But this Jacksonville game is going to be for the Texans culture. And another reason is, they're up there. They're at the top of the division right now. They're trying to they are trying to get in the playoffs or stay in a playoff spot. And, it's a tight race this year. Maybe not so much in the AFC. In the NFC, yeah, but AFC, things are kind of, a little bit more clear cut on our side on who's going to get in and who's not. But it's still, only a couple weeks left in the season. We still got 3 games left in the season. And so anything can go between now and then. So with Jacksonville, they're sitting at the top of the division, 9-4. A lot of the teams that are behind them, Tennessee for one, they're only 1 game behind Jacksonville, and they faced them on the season finale. The other teams, Kansas City, didn't even get a chance to check it at the time. I believe it was Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. So yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, Kansas City. Oh yeah, Buffalo's still hanging on by a thread, but they're just like 2 games behind Jacksonville in the grand scheme of things. So it's not. I mean, yes, 3 games left, but I mean, only 2 games up ahead. Like it's nothing for them to like get a loss this week, then drop their next 2. Especially against next week that they had the 49ers. Not going to talk about that, but anyway, but yeah, especially they got the 49ers next week. And also, like I just said, finish off with the Titans at the end of the season. So, if we just happen to creep up on Jacksonville tomorrow, they think that, Texans are down and out and this is just, completely done. That we're just done as a whole and we're not going to compete. then let's creep up on them and let's put an L in their loss column. And I mean, it wouldn't hurt. And they catch a loss tomorrow. Who's not to say that they don't get creeped up on again the next 2 weeks and take a couple more losses and just get put out of the playoffs altogether. So yeah, it's a long shot, but it's a great start. And like I said, Jacksonville being a division rival and kind of setting the fire on like all the problems that we've been having, or yeah, just kind of starting that off for us is like, no, what better way to pay them back for that than to just have them sit at home watching the playoffs with us. So definitely tomorrow's game is going to be for the culture, for the Texans culture. It's going to be for the Texans fans. It's our last breath at like just showing the fans that hey, we still have some fight left, despite what's been going on the whole season, despite what's been going on the field with injuries, despite what's been going on off the field with the storms and everything else. We still have some fight left in us. There's still some fight left for this city, for this fan base. We love y'all. We F's with y'all. So we're gonna get out here. We're gonna get this W. So let it be known that's what has to happen tomorrow. So with that being said, how can they go out here and get this W? So first things first, they need to force Blake Bortles to win this game. Now, if you haven't taken a look at Blake Bortles' stats, they've been shockingly good. He's obviously having his best year as far as wins go, but that's pretty much because he's not doing as much to win the game himself. Excuse me. This season, he's up. He's throwing for 16 touchdowns, but only 8 interceptions, compared to 23 touchdowns last season and 16 interceptions last season. So, I mean, yeah, it's not. He doesn't have as many touchdowns, but the important thing is he's cutting down. He's cut down on his interceptions, his turnovers. So that's giving the team a lot more. Actually, not even a little bit, a lot more chances to win games. When a lot more chances that they didn't have last season. So definitely, we need to bring them back to that reality. Now, first game he had like 125 yards passing, and they blew us out on that one. And let me see if I can just pull the score up right quick. So, yeah, 29-7 blew us out with just, 125 yards passing. And only had like 1 touchdown. So, I mean, that says a lot right there of like how they're trying to protect them. How are they trying to protect them? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Quite simple. They're running the ball. They're number 1 in the league in rushing, powered by Leonard Fournette and Chris Ivory in the backfield. So, definitely another method that the Texans are gonna need to do is employ a strong type of run defense for tomorrow. Just try to make it ineffective. Now I'm not sure if they can just completely shut down the run game. Fournette is pretty good, but he might not be playing tomorrow. I think he was listed as questionable last time I checked. So there's a little, uncertainty as to whether or not he'll even suit up. So if he doesn't suit up, that'll definitely be an advantage in favor of the Texans as far as them stopping that run game and just taking that away completely, and just forcing Blake Bortles to like go in there and play Captain Saver Jaguar, which I'm pretty sure the Jaguars do not even want themselves. So that's the next thing. Just make the run ineffective and just take it away early. Second thing that's going to have to happen. Texas is going to have to score early and often. So, yeah, that's pretty basic. But one way to keep Bortles keep Bortles in the mindset of like he has to go save him. You just have to have a lead, obviously. I mean, that's very unlikely that they're going to run the ball just to like try to catch up with you. There's not a lot of teams that actually do that unless it's like just pretty early in the game, first quarters, opening drive or something. But, later in the game, like second quarter or third quarter, they're going to want to go switch to pass just to like speed things up a little bit. So definitely Texans need to make sure that they score early and often, and not so much early, they need to make sure that they're getting touchdowns early. Like field goals are good, but make sure that you are getting touchdowns. Make every point count. Another thing about in the just to tail in off of that, make every point count make every point count point. Just to tail in off of that detail, I mean, take advantage of any turnovers that you may have. So, like I said, he's cut down on Bortles is cut down on his interceptions. 8 interceptions this season. I doubt he's down from 16, so I doubt he's going to throw 8 interceptions between now and the end of the season. So, what the Texans need to do is if they get an interception, a fumble, make sure that turns into some points. Construct a drive where that turns into some points. Even if you catch it, while if Jacksonville's deep in Texans territory and Bortles happens to just throw an interception and you have to start from your own territory, just try to, get plays that are able to like keep drives going and just wear the defense down, just so you can get the points. Preferably a touchdown, as I said earlier, but field goals are cool too. But whatever you do, whenever you get a turnover, just make sure you get the points. Do not turn the ball back over, and definitely try to stay away from punts if you can in that particular situation. Jacksonville, they may or may not be ready for the playoffs or whatever, but definitely you do not want to. You do not want to give them. You don't want to save them from any mistakes that they've made. They have a very stout defense this season, and like I said, Bortles is playing probably his best season so far. Not really statistically, but like just success wise. Just playing smarter and putting up good numbers as well. So definitely those are the things that they just need to do and just need to focus on. So like I said, man, if they can just force Bortles to try to take over this game and just take away the running game and just get some turnovers and score off of those, then Texans will get the W. Texans will get this W, for the culture. So that is all I gotta say for this week. My name is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. I holla.